Calling to order the Municipality of Monroeville's Citizens Night and regular council meeting for December 8th, 2020. I'd ask you all to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America,
and
to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Griesbach,
Here.
Mrs. Gatos,
Here.
Mr. Poach,
Here.
Mr. Harvey,
Here.
Mr. Wolfram,
Here.
Mr. Osinko,
Here.
Mr. Williams,
Here.
Mr. Wilson, Mr. Wilson,
He's muted.
He's
muted.
Here.
thank you. Mr. Ratcher,
Here.
Mr. Little,
Here.
Mr. Hugus,
Here.
Mr. Weldon.
Here.
Okay, good evening. As everyone is well aware, due to the spike in the COVID-19 cases in the county and the state, we continue to hold our meetings via Zoom. We do want to get back to normal as quickly as possible, but in an abundance of caution, we are conducting our meetings in this fashion. There were no citizen remarks or comments submitted for this meeting. So I'm going to move forward. We're going to close Citizens Night and move on to our regular council meeting. As I spoke about the Zoom meeting, one thing I want to update the community on is how we've been handling COVID cases here in the municipality. We've had 3 or 4 cases in our Public Works Department. We've had 3 or 4 cases in our main municipal building. We've had about 5 or 6 in our police department. We've had 0 cases at our library and 0 cases at our senior citizen center and 0 cases in our Parks and Recreation department. And when I mentioned the Parks and Recreation department, the library and the senior citizen center, we've had no cases, not only with employees, but also none of the participants of any of their activities, any of their members or any of their patrons at any of those facilities. We've also had a few cases of employees whose spouses have been tested positive, and then we had to quarantine them. But all in all, I will give a lot of credit to management here at the municipality of really taking care of how, when these situations do come about, they are managed pretty swiftly. We contact trace very swiftly. And, I'll give a lot of credit to Mr. Little. He recognizes, obviously, the importance of this and really finds out where people have been and has people work from home and do all the mitigating factors that needs to be done to keep the municipality running. But we're still trying to, like I said, with this Zoom meeting, and we still encourage people to wear masks and wash hands and do everything that they've been doing. But currently our municipal building is still closed to the public, and the Senior Citizen Center and the library both are closed to the public. However, all services can still be utilized through the municipal building. Any kind of permitting, tax office, anything that is needed, you can call the municipality and get help where you need it. Also, the senior center and library are both hosting a lot of online virtual programming, a lot of curbside programming that they are doing, and you can find out more through their Facebook pages and through the websites. And certainly if you have any questions or concerns, call my office, call your council representative, and keep safe. So with that, I want to move over to an executive session announcement. Council conducted an executive session before Thursday, November 19th, 2020 budget hearing from 5:45 to 6:30 p.m. and before tonight's council meeting on Tuesday, December 8th, 2020 from 6:15 to approximately 7 p.m. for personnel and litigation reasons. Council, legislative action, if any, shall be taken at tonight's council meeting. Council, moving over to the minutes. This evening, I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes of the budget hearing of October 29th, 2020, the Citizens Night meeting of November 10th, 2020, the council work session of, there was none, I'm sorry, that is in the minutes though, and the regular council meeting of November 10th, 2020. So is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments, council? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Wolfram? Mr. Ursinko?
Aye. Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Thank you.
Guys have it. Council, moving over to our reports of our tax collections. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Is there a comment or question? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Ursinko?
Aye.
Mr. Wolfram?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Council, list of bills and budget transfers. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second to approve. Any comments?
Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Wolfram?
Aye.
Mr. Ursinko?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
The ayes have it. And payroll report. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Is there a second?
I second.
There was, we have a motion second to approve the payroll. Any comments?
And
One comment I will just make is that
we
we
are
are approximately
approximately,
$500,000 less from last year at this time.
but
But there's a motion and a second to approve. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Williams? Mr. Ursinko?
Aye.
Mr. Wolfram?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
The ayes have
Have
it.
it. Council, moving over to our vacancies on boards, commissions, and authorities.
It's
Your blue section of your packet.
Mayor,
Mrs. Gatos, anything this evening?
I'd like to make a motion too, Mayor. You there? Yeah, I've been short being able to get to see some of those. Can we just make a motion to approve all the nominations in one case and then vote on them the next time? We have to still vote on them, correct?
Absolutely not. Should
Okay.
be individual.
Well, Mr.
Mr. Coach, what is your motion?
Motion is to move forward with all of these folks in nomination, then vote on them for the next time.
No,
Well,
absolutely not.
Well, Mr. Poach is making a motion
I'll second it.
And
and a second. Now, comment.
Tom,
I have a comment.
Go ahead,
Mr.
Mr. Wilson.
Wilson.
I think the people in Monroeville are entitled to know who the representatives are for the library board, Parks and Rec, zoning hearing board, let's see, also the municipal authority, the flood control. So I'll be happy to read their names for the library board, and we can go forward with that.
Well,
We have a motion and a second. So, Mr. Coach, if you could just clarify, are you just talking about the nominations? We have one that looks like one for an appointment. You're just saying the nominations?
the nominations, yeah. As a
All the
blanket,
nominations.
except
And
for now,
then-
and we vote on the clearing in the next, in our next group.
And then the next appointment, the appointments would be in January.
Yes.
Stand down, Greg.
Mr. Ursinko.
Okay, I think what Eric and I are saying is that all the nominations, just put them up and approve them. And to answer your question, Tom, it will then will.
I didn't ask you a question, Greg.
I'm sorry?
I didn't ask you a question.
No, I'm trying to give you an answer why I voted the way I did.
Thing off the screen.
Greg, don't even talk to me about that.
All right.
All right, gentlemen, if we could just stick
You
with the
do your
subject matter.
thing, I'll do my thing.
Does
Does
anyone
anyone have any comments about the
You're such a
motion?
traitor, Greg, it's unbelievable.
Mr. Williams.
Mr. Williams.
How about the nominations? It wasn't made yet.
Well, the motion and the second is just for the appointments. I'm sorry, it's just for the nominations.
Right,
That had already been made.
no.
Not for the one that is already nominated.
It's a blanket
It's a separate
nomination.
issue.
It's a blanket nomination.
Mayor, we
Yes,
did
it
this
is.
last year in
Yes,
December.
and I got screwed on it. When you guys
Okay.
put Betsy on the water authority.
All right.
Okay, Mr. Wilson, you made your point.
And
I'm going to take
what
a,
happened tonight?
Roll call vote, please. So the vote, if you vote in the affirmative, what you're voting on is to say that
all
all of the individuals that are listed for nominations
are to be
approved. They aren't going to be appointed to these boards. They're just going to be nominated for the boards. And any appointments would have to take place at another
Wait a minute,
council meeting.
Mayor, question. Shouldn't the representative in that each of those wards, the council person in each of those wards, read off the names to let people know who's going to run? So for example, in Eric's ward,
McDaniel.
okay, you have Dennis,
Yeah.
and in Ward 3, Ron, who do you have?
Well,
How
how
about
about
this?
this?
Mr. Wilson, maybe this will satisfy what you're trying, what you're addressing here.
No reason to rush through this.
I'll read them into the record. This is what we're voting on.
For
For library board, these are only for nominations.
Dennis McDaniel, Ward
Ward
2.
2,
Mary Frances Thorne. Emily
Emily
Hoffman.
Hoffman.
And then for the
Recreation Parks Advisory Board, Tracy
Coach
Coach.
and Michael Gatos.
Gatos.
For
For the zoning hearing board,
Gary Griziak,
Michael
Gatos,
Gatos,
Andy Wilkins.
Wilkins.
Planning Commission.
Wait a minute. Where are we, Mayor? Where are we?
I'm just reading through the list of the
Potential
potential
nominations.
nominations.
Right. So don't we have to approve these people that are going to be?
The motion's on the table to do that.
Yeah,
the-
Mr. Wilson, the motion's it's on the table currently to consider is.
Yeah, you're
if
giving me,
we-
I'm hearing feedback. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The motion on the floor and the second is to nominate all of the names that I'm reading off, and I think we just had them up on the screen a moment ago.
No.
They will not be appointed to the boards. All we're saying is they're nominated, and then these names will be considered for the next meeting. Thank you very much. So,
Information.
Wait a minute. I have a person that we nominated back in
yes,
November.
Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson, if you could, I'll come back to that in a moment. We'll make sure that that individual is appointed. That's not what we're considering right now.
Okay.
We're just considering the
Good
nominations.
information.
And if I could just finish what I'm reading here, Dan Gearhart for the Planning Commission. And if you could scroll, yep, there you go. Pollution Control and Flood Reduction Board of Appeals, Ed Deal. For the Monroeville Municipal Authority, Nancy Harvey. For the Convention Visitors Bureau of Greater Pittsburgh, Ryan Witt of UPMC East. Oh, I'm sorry. It is of Monroeville. Sorry. The Convention Visitors Bureau of Greater Monroeville is Ryan Witt. And that is all. So the motion and the second is to nominate all of those names. Is there a roll call vote, please?
Okay. Mrs. Gator,
Aye.
Williams wants to have something to say.
Point of information first. The zoning hearing board, who's leaving there to appoint somebody else? You got 3 people on that board now.
Well, yes, keep in mind, we're not appointing anybody right now. This is only to nominate them So if there is a vacancy in January, we would appoint whatever seats are vacant.
I see some names I'm very familiar with up for the zoning hearing board.
If we could continue with the roll call vote, we have a motion and a second to approve all the nominations. But this, once again, to be clear, this is not to appoint anybody at this time.
I want a roll call vote, Mayor.
We're in the middle. So Sharon, let's start from the top.
Okay.
Again,
Thank you.
Mrs. Gatos,
Aye.
Mr. Poach,
aye.
Mr. Harvey,
Aye.
Mr. Wolfram,
Aye.
Mr. Arsenko,
Aye.
Mr. Williams,
No.
Mr. Wilson.
No.
The ayes have it. Mr. Wilson, you had someone in the 7th Ward.
Yes, I have Kelly Fennessy Meredith in the 7th Ward. And she is going to fill an unexpired term from January 2020 to December 2022. We nominated Kelly back in November, and Kelly is a great candidate. She also works with Sean Logan, and she's an employee of Sean Logan with the Chamber of Commerce. And Kelly's young, and she's going to contribute a lot to our library board.
So you're
So
making
making a motion to appoint her.
I have a motion to approve.
To
To
appoint her.
Sorry?
That your motion is to appoint her.
Yes.
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 Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Mr. Williams,
Aye.
Mr. Arsenko,
Aye.
Mr. Wolfram,
Aye.
Mr. Harvey,
Aye.
Mr. Poach,
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos.
Aye.
The
The
ayes
ayes have it.
Does
Anyone
anyone
on council have any other appointments at this time?
Yes,
Mr. Williams.
yes. I have a nomination of Emily L. Hoffman to the library board.
We actually covered her with our first motion. So she's already been nominated.
Who nominated her?
She was grouped in to the initial motion that Mr. Poach made.
But she was never nominated.
No, I'm sorry. So when Mr. Poach made his motion and Mr. Arsenko second, and what we voted on was to nominate this entire list.
She was never nominated is what I'm saying.
Right, we just did it a moment ago.
Why can't our councilman nominate her?
The what?
She's already
I'm asking
nominated.
Why you can't nominate her, Bob? They're not letting you nominate her.
This is a 6-ward appointment for the library.
Right.
Correct. Is that?
And I don't know how you can pass somebody who wasn't
You
nominated.
know, it was.
No,
not-
Mr. Williams, you're not, I'm sorry, maybe you're just not understanding. So there's the process part, this is for the public as well. So anytime that we have a board or commissioner authority, the way we get an individual on there, it's a two-stage process. First, they submit a letter and a resume to the municipality. And then once that happens, council's given a list of the names of people that are interested. And then at that point, council can choose to nominate those individuals or not nominate those individuals. Then, once they're nominated, they have to be on until another meeting, at least one more month, but it could be down the road, and then they're appointed. What Mr. Poach was doing in an effort to trying to save time, which didn't really work out too well, but trying to save time, he was trying to nominate the entire list in front of us, which did include Emily Hoffman.
So he made the nomination.
No,
He nominated the entire list, and he's within his right to do that.
She was not on the list. I'm saying she was never nominated.
No, I'm sorry, she's on the list that we have in the agenda for today. So she was nominated. Next month, she could possibly be considered for appointment.
What's the point in going through the process then? If it's a 6-ward appointment and it's just done without an appointment from the 6-ward representative? I mean, it's
Well-
just no big deal, but it's just an issue.
I understand, well, I understand your concern, but the good news is that she is nominated and then she can be considered for next month.
Well, that's correct, and I would nominate her, but I did not have that privilege, so.
Well, we'll let the record show that you certainly wanted to nominate her this evening on your own. But prior to you having the ability to do that, council nominated her within a group with everybody else. But we'll definitely let the record show that you definitely were interested in nominating her.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay. All right, council, let's move over to our new business in our consent agenda, 20-3-SUB Maple Crest LLC. Applicant is requesting preliminary and final approval to subdivide parcel A1 of the Maple Crest subdivision into 41 lots. Existing acreage of parcel A1 is 45.38 acres. The property is located within the overall Maple Crest single-family residential development and situated at the intersection of Logan's Ferry Road and Maple Crest Lane in the R2 one-family residential zoning district, and the Planning Commission recommends approval.
I make a motion to approve.
A question.
Let's get it. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
And a second.
There's a
Mr. Williams, your
question
question.
My question is, Maple Crest had a meeting, and did they make an agreement with the neighbors, and did the neighbors agree with it?
Mr. Wielden, do you have any insight on this by chance?
What was the question?
Mr.
There
Williams,
were
if you can
some
repeat the
issues
question.
with Maple Crest with the neighbors. Was that issue taken care of, and are the neighbors okay with it?
There was one issue with one neighbor, and I believe it has been addressed. The developer did what was requested, and we did not get final approval from that resident, even though we reached out to him 3 or 4 times for confirmation. He would not reply. As far as the municipality is concerned, it has been addressed.
That answer your question, Bob?
Yeah, did Maple Crest sign off on anything that they would take care of issues?
Take care of what?
Any issues that the neighbor had?
I'm not sure what you mean by sign off. There was a meeting. There were some
Did
items.
they agree
uh,
to, for that resident's concerns?
Yes.
Tommy, that's in your area. What do you know about that?
Well, I don't know anything about it.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Mr. Wilson, I believe this is the meeting you participated in with me and the guys from Maple Crest out there down by the stormwater detention basin.
No, this is for the extra 41 acres, right? 41 lots.
That's what the subdivision is for. That's the agenda item, but I believe Mr. Williams is talking about the concerns of the neighbor down there below the basin.
I am.
Oh, when I was
Well, let
at
me-
that meeting, that never came up as far as I was concerned.
Okay, so if I could just ask a question, is the concern that maybe Mr. Williams is referring to, does that have anything to do with the subdivision into 41 lots?
No.
Any other questions, guys?
Mayor,
I agree with that, but what I'm saying is it's still Maple Crest development, and there was an issue with that one neighbor, and I want to know if it was resolved.
It was resolved, Bob. Yes, I'm sorry.
I
have an email to that effect that the neighbor is
Yes.
okay with that.
Thank you.
Okay. Council, any other questions? We have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call,
So
please.
moved.
Mrs. Gatos,
Aye.
Mr. Poach,
Aye.
Mr. Harvey,
Aye.
Mr. Wolfram,
Aye.
Mr. Arsenko,
Aye.
Mr. Williams,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye. Thank you.
The ayes have it. Council, we're moving over to our motions. We have two this evening. Mr. Little, if you would, please.
Yes, the first one is seeking a motion to authorize to advertise for a Zoom special council meeting on Tuesday, December the 22nd at 7 p.m. to adopt the 2021 budget. There has to be some items on the 2021 budget buttoned up, which I hope we will resolve this evening. And so the actual budget itself, the document, will be hopefully adopted at this special meeting. And also, there are some ordinances probably under Mr. Ratcher's heading that probably should be tabled. I'll defer to Mr. Ratcher on that to coincide with the budget.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any comments?
No comment.
The only thing I'll just comment on that Tim touched on a little bit as we move down the agenda this evening. Yes, there are some ordinances that are for passing the budget. I know we're going to approve this, well, hopefully we approve this meeting for the 22nd. But if there's anything the council wants to discuss, I would caution you of tabling this item before discussing those budget items. Because if you table an item, then there can be no discussion. So if by chance council wanted to discuss the budget, I would ask for a motion to approve it and a second. We can discuss it, and then at that time you could table it and not take the vote on it. But we don't want to table it first before we speak about it, because tabling it will cease all discussion. Everybody understand that? I'll come back to that as we get closer to that, but just one. So the point, let me just take a roll call vote on the motion to move the meeting to the 22nd. Roll call, please.
For the advertisement. Mrs. Gatos,
Aye.
Mr. Poach,
Aye.
Mr. Harvey,
Aye.
Mr. Wolfram,
Aye.
Mr. Ursinko,
Aye.
Mr. Williams,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Okay, second motion, Mr.
Okay, motion is to authorize to advertise an ordinance authorizing the execution of a cable franchise agreement between the municipality and Verizon PA LLC. We discussed this item in executive session, and council is aware of the items in the franchise agreement.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a
Second to approve.
Any questions or comments?
comments?
Seeing none, roll call,
Call,
please.
please.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Mr. Williams,
Aye.
Mr. Ursinko,
Aye.
Mr. Wolfram,
Aye.
Mr. Harvey,
Aye.
Mr. Poach,
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Council, we're moving over to our three resolutions this evening. Mr. Little, if you would.
Okay, the first one is a resolution authorizing the demolition of slums and blight at the location of 320 Valley Road, Allegheny County, Lot and Block 642K162. Council tabled this resolution until this evening, back at the October council meeting.
So council, what I'd be looking for first is a motion to take this item off the table.
Motion.
Move to take it off.
We have
We
a
have a
motion,
motion,
Mr. Harvey.
Harvey.
Second.
Mr. Ursinko, we second it.
Second.
Very good.
Roll call just to take it off the table.
Mrs. Gatos,
Aye.
Mr. Poach,
Aye.
Mr. Harvey,
Aye.
Mr. Wolfram,
Aye.
Mr. Ursinko,
Aye.
Mr. Williams,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Is there a motion to act on this item?
Motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve.
Any questions or comments or discussion?
Yeah, I got a comment. This Valley Road, where exactly is that? The one down in Adderley?
In Adderley.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, I went past that house a couple times. It's like a pretty darn nice structure if the guy just does a little work on it.
We gave him 2 months.
Against having him tear it down.
We gave him 2 months.
Is he paying taxes on it? Question?
Do you know that
Taxes on it.
answer?
I'm sorry?
I'm
Seeing
seeing
if Mr. Little knows
He's
the
paying
answer. to that.
taxes.
I'd have to talk to Mr. Fulkerson, tax collector.
It really is a pretty nice structure if we can just get the guy to, that other guy on Monroeville Road, you give him 2 years and never tore his house down. And this is a lot nicer house than that.
Well,
We have no response from the gentleman that owns the property yet?
I don't think he has the cash to complete the process, get the building up to standard. But I don't know if that's a reason to tear it down.
Mr. Hugus, if you could chime in on,
I know the
process isn't as quick as everyone thinks it is. It's a long process. Typically, people have a lot of opportunity to respond.
So has there been some, could you give us a little history on this property?
The gentleman appeared in front of you at the October meeting, said he was going to make repairs to the structure. Specifically, Mrs. Gatus asked for him to board up the broken windows. He has done nothing to the property. He has not applied for a building permit. He has not spoken with us about the property. Now, even once the resolution is passed, we're probably 2 months away from an actual demolition.
And
Mr. Hugus, the time frame typically
to even get a property to this point, how long has that been going on?
He's been in the queue for probably 2 years.
Okay, so council is aware of that in the public too. It's been about 2 years of our staff trying to work with the individual, trying to contact the individual. And then there was the hearing over all of this, and that Mr. Harvey referred to it, that he was given 2 months and there's been no response. Any other questions or comments about this? And to the
Mr. Hugus,
mentioned,
you know, even if it's approved
this evening, it's going to take time to do it. And I don't believe, Mr. Ratcher, if you could chime in for me, that things couldn't be changed if situations were different with the owner.
Right up until the time that it would actually be demolished, the municipality could make the decision to withhold or abate the demolition and not do it. So you always have that alternative.
Okay. Mr. Williams.
If he would begin working on this in the 2 months, would that nullify the tear down order?
Yes, as Mr. Ratcher just mentioned, up until the day it's actually torn down, the municipality could rescind the action.
So there's a motion and a
second to approve this resolution. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson,
No.
Mr. Williams,
No.
Mr. Ursinko, Mr. Ursinko,
Aye.
Mr. Wolfram,
Aye.
Mr. Harvey,
Aye.
Mr. Poach,
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos.
Aye. Aye.
The
The
ayes
ayes
have
have it.
Our
Our
second
second resolution, Mr. Little.
Okay, the second one is a resolution amending resolution number 2028, authorizing the distribution of the 2020 General Municipal Pension System aid pursuant to the Municipal Pension Plan Act 205 of 1984. This needs a little explanation. The long and the short of it, there was a clerical error that was very good news. If you remember, when I was given the budget message in October, I was mentioning how our increase in our non-uniform pension occurred. Well, the MMO had a mistake on it, and in actuality, we are going to be saving, it isn't going to be what it is. It's going to be about $791,000 less, and I'll get to that when we talk about the budget items. So this is good news right here, even though it was a clerical error. So our budget contribution for the non-uniform people is not going to be nearly as much as we had thought. So we're doing an amendment to the resolution.
Well, we'll take
good news anytime we can get it.
Motion.
That's
Very good.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion second to approve. Any other questions or comments?
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos,
Aye.
Mr. Poach,
Aye.
Mr. Harvey,
Aye.
Mr. Wolfram,
Aye.
Mr. Arsenko,
Aye.
Mr. Williams,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Mr. Little, our last.
Mayor, I have to go get my, plug it in because my battery's running low.
Okay,
Go ahead, and,
Okay,
we'll move forward.
I'll be right back.
resolution is a resolution extending the temporary suspension of accessory outdoor dining regulations as set forth in ordinance 1443 as amended, and authorizing the zoning officer to issue temporary accessory outdoor dining permits pursuant to the established rules and regulations as set forth.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion second to approve. And discussion is just that, yes, this is one of the small steps that the municipality tried to do to try to help out our restaurants during the pandemic to
allow additional outside
dining.
As everyone knows,
the restaurants are one of the hardest hit industries, and it's one way we can help them. So I would encourage council to vote in the affirmative for this resolution. Any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos,
Aye.
Mr. Poach,
Aye.
Mr. Harvey,
Aye.
Mr. Wolfram,
Aye.
Mr. Arsenko,
Aye.
Mr. Williams,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson. Is he there?
He stepped away, but the ayes have it. Moving over to our ordinances this evening, and once again, I mentioned earlier and try to confuse everybody in the meantime, as far as some of these that pertain to the budget, which is 5. So ordinances 1 through 5. Eventually, we want to table these, but I don't want anyone to do that quite yet, because that way we can discuss these items. So, Mr. Ratcher, the appropriate way to do this, would you suggest making a motion to approve all 5 in a second?
And then
Discuss the budget?
and then table them all collectively?
We could do that. Or you could do the other 2 that are on the list here to get them out of the way.
Let's do that to avoid the confusion.
Okay.
So, Mr. Ratcher, if you could just read
Start with
number 6, and these do not pertain to the budget.
Okay, an ordinance of the municipality of Monroeville authorizing the proper officials of the municipality of Monroeville to enter into an agreement with Monroeville volunteer fire companies in order to facilitate the purchase of fire equipment and provide other financial assistance for year 2021 and 2025. And this is the customary 5-year funding agreement that we've had with the volunteer fire companies going back probably 40 years. Mr. Harvey, Mr. Poach, Mr. Little, and myself negotiated with fire companies and came to an agreement on this particular document, and it's before council for their approval.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Questions or comments?
And we're
Talking about, I mean, Mr. Ratcher mentioned it, that the 2 council members, Mr. Ratcher and Mr. Little, I'm assuming that everyone's okay with it from that committee, that small committee?
Yes, the fire chiefs have indicated that they are okay with the draft of the agreement that's presently in your packets. And so everybody's looking forward to going ahead with approval.
Okay, and then the staff end of it, from the municipal standpoint, everyone
Correct.
has been good with it?
Mayor, I might add that the fire chiefs worked very hard with us to, under the circumstances of our budget and the situation going on financially, typically in that agreement, we would have been replacing a ladder tower and 3 pumper trucks over the 5 years. And then we worked to cut that down to replacing the ladder tower and providing funds to refurbish the 3 pumper trucks that were originally going to get replaced. Each one of those pumper trucks would have been budgeted at $600,000 to replace. In turn, in the agreement, they're budgeted at $150,000 apiece. So they probably saved us close to $1 million in coming to that agreement.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of work by both the administration of the municipality and the fire chiefs, but I think we came to a very good agreement. They're happy with it. We're happy with it.
Very good.
I have a question, Mayor.
Any other questions or comments, council?
Where
Mr. Williams.
on the
Yeah.
pages
Mr. Williams, you may be on mute.
again?
Go ahead, Bob.
Are we on the yellow pages?
Yes, sir.
And I'm not understanding. Is the first ordinance, that is Monroeville fixing the real estate millage?
No, we're skipping over the first 5
Because the first 5 all pertain to the budget.
So the one that's in question right now, there's a motion second to approve, is item number 6, which is the fire agreement.
And that is in the yellow section of your packet. And it's about 2/3 of the way through.
Well, the second page is telling us that ordinance to adopt of the budget. You know, we having a budget meeting on the 22nd and,
Yeah, so what I'm trying to accomplish is for us to get through the 2 ordinances that do not relate to the ordinance.
okay,
I'm sorry, to the budget first. Do the 2 ordinances that are not budget related. And then we'll go back to the budget ordinances and we'll discuss things further at that point.
thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So does anyone have any questions about the fire agreement?
I have a question, Mayor.
Go ahead.
My question is, these fixes, are they Band-Aids or are they going to be able to sustain the use of this fire equipment?
Me or you, Ron?
I think the fire chiefs agreed that many times in the 15-year replacement cycle, fire trucks are still in good enough shape to stay in service with a little bit of work. And that's what the answer was to this. Instead of buying $600,000 fire trucks,
Yeah.
those 3, they feel will be in good enough shape
I
to
appreciate that.
invest the money and refurb them.
Okay, thank you, Ron.
Any other questions, council? We have
Ron,
a
Ron, was this involving the turret on some of these? The ladder?
I
Or
didn't.
that was something else we were talking about some time ago. I remember discussing some.
Mr. Wolf, just repeat that for a second, please. Repeat your question.
Was this in regard to refurbishing or fixing the turrets on some of these ladder trucks at that time?
No, that was a different issue. I think he's referring to
Yeah,
the
that's
station.
what I
ordinance.
I think you're thinking of the Quint, which has been taken care of. Matter of fact, I think
Okay,
it's
all right,
back.
that was one. It was a past issue. Okay, sorry about that.
But it sounds like this is along the same lines, that the fire companies are trying to stretch the useful life out of their vehicles a little bit further, and which is a benefit for taxpayers. And also too, I think Mr. Wilson's question, it's not doing anything that would jeopardize the service or the coverage or the equipment for the municipality. So it sounds like it's a win-win for everybody.
Did I summarize that okay?
Yeah, I think you did.
Okay.
All right. We have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call, please.
Mr. Williams? I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Ursenko?
Aye.
Mr. Wolfram?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
The ayes have it. So Mr. Ratcher, if you could read the 7th ordinance.
He's mute.
He's muted.
You're muted, Bob.
Okay, I apologize. An ordinance of the municipality of Monroeville expanding the size of the zoning hearing board from 3 members to 5 members.
I can't hear you, Bob.
of the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, we motion second to approve. I just want to make sure that everyone on council, I know we have a little audio here. I just want to make sure everybody knows what we're approving.
here. So this was, I'll read it.
Go ahead.
It's
It's
an
an
ordinance
ordinance of the Municipality of Monroeville, expanding the size of the zoning hearing board from 3 members
to
to
5
5
members
members
pursuant to Article 9 of the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code. So that's the motion in the second is to approve that.
Mr. Williams.
At this time, with the economy, I am not for expanding government in any way, especially paid positions. These 2 positions going to cost the municipality another $300 a month, and I think we ought to hold off on expanding government.
Any other comments or questions?
I have a comment there.
Go ahead, Mr. Wilson.
In talking to the members of the zoning hearing board, they are very efficient with the 3 members. They do not need 2 more members. The reason that it's down to 3 is back in 2014, when there were other issues within the municipality, the council wanted to get rid of a couple people that were on that board. So therefore, council decided that they would move to 3 and maintain 3. So there's no reason that the zoning hearing board should be more than 3. It should be 3.
Any other comments or questions, council?
Yeah, I have one, Mayor. I just think the size of the municipality of Monroeville, that the residents are, have the right to more representation on it. That's why I'm in favor.
Ron, they're properly represented today with the 3 members. There's never
That's your opinion. My opinion is I
never
think.
been an issue, Ron. And I know why you're doing this, Ron.
Well, Mr. Wilson, you made your point, and you discussed why you're not in favor of it, and we're going to take a vote.
Stand down, Ron, because I'm coming after you.
Mr. Wilson, if you could, please.
You too, Linda.
All right,
Let's stick to voting. How about that?
Does anyone else have any questions or comments about this item? Seeing none, roll
Don't do
call,
that.
please.
You're off my list now, Greg.
Mrs. Gatos,
Aye.
Put my telephone number away.
Mr.
Mr.
Poe,
Wilson, if we could please hold the vote, Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Poach,
Aye.
Mr. Harvey,
Aye.
Mr. Wolfram,
Aye.
Mr. Ursenko, Mr. Williams,
No,
Mr. Wilson.
No.
Okay.
The
The
ayes
ayes
have
have it.
Wait a minute. This is just a preliminary vote. This isn't, they're not gonna move it to 5, are they?
That's
That's
what was just voted on.
I'm sorry?
That's what was just voted on just now.
The
And,
ordinance,
and
Has
so
this-
it moves to 5 members rather than 3?
correct. As of this vote that was
Just
just
taken.
Well, then why do I see Mrs. Gatos' husband on that list for the, zoning hearing board?
Well,
I
Mr.
believe
Wilson,
that,
that's
He's
not
not
a
a
subject
subject
matter
matter at this point.
what's that?
the
Members of the board,
She can't vote on this issue
well,
because
this is something that we can take up in January.
we won't be.
making any
I'm
kind
not
of
taking it up in
appointments.
January. I'm getting it off my chest tonight.
Well,
How about this, Mr. Wilson? Let's proceed with the meeting,
and you will have
time at the end of the meeting under your report, and you can discuss what you want to discuss.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Ratcher, if you could, we're going to back up on the ordinances.
Ordinances Council, the first 5, which all pertain to the budget.
Once again,
our
our
ultimate outcome is to table these items.
However,
However,
we
we
don't
don't
want to do it
first because we want to allow some discussion of these items.
Everybody follow? So is there a motion to approve the
The
first
first 5 ordinances.
Yes, I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Motion second to approve. So that will allow now discussion. So Mr. Little, is there anything you want to address?
Okay, the first thing I'd like to do here is jump down to my agenda and start with the bond restructuring that I brought up with council last month. And I gave council two proposals. I gave council one proposal from Piper Sandler, who is an underwriter for bonds, and also from Public Financial Management, who is a public financial management company that can take bonds all into competitive bidding and also in a negotiated sale. And I gave proposals, in-depth proposals to council to review, and I briefly went over them last month. But what I'm going to do is just briefly go over the more important part that I'd recommend the council to move on. This is from Piper Sandler, which used to be Piper Jaffray, and this is the $1.5 million debt service reduction out of their three ones. They not recommended. I asked them to look at $1 million reducing the debt service, 1.5 and 2 million. This right here, here's our existing debt right here. This in 20 we've already paid. This is already paid, but our debt service for next year is 3,174,000, and in 22 it's 2.9 million. This is what it would be right here, 1.417 and 1,420,000 in 2022. Here are the savings right here. But as we move along, you can see that here would be our existing if we did nothing, and this would continue on at about 1.4 million. A little bit similar to refinancing your house. Now, the key factor, obviously, that you have to look at here is, obviously, you know you're going to be paying more money in the long run. This is that figure down here, $319,000, okay? That's Piper Sandler. Let's move up to, let me rotate this around so you can see. This right here is from Public Financial Management. Our existing debt service right here is the same. Obviously, that doesn't change right here. And again, this is the savings that we would have right here, which is almost the same. And then, but this is what we'd pay more so, and virtually the same in the debt service moving down on what we would be paying instead of 3.1 million and 2.9 million. Instead, we would be paying about 1.4. Here is the overall amount that we'd be paying is $85,000. So you ask yourself the question, well, why is there such a disparity? Well, what Public Financial Management has done is they have taken the 2015 bonds, which are refundable, and they've taken the savings from that, which is minimal, and they've spread that out along here. And that's why we wouldn't be spending as much money. Now, with all that being said, unless council wants me to go into more details of their proposals, I'd want to recommend the council to go with Public Financial Management for two reasons. For the first one, as I just pointed out, and the second one, to have the bonds go out for competitive bid instead of negotiated sale. Questions, comments?
No, I'd like to make a motion that we go with the manager's recommendation.
Yes, I do too. And
Second.
I second. But I
We have a motion, a second to approve Mr. Little's recommendation. Any other comments or questions?
I have the second to approve. Mayor.
Very good.
Comment and thank you, Mr. Little, for doing this, because it's definitely going to save the municipality. And if everybody remembers when we were brought into council in 2014, no, actually it was 2012, huh? Yeah, but anyway, 2013. But anyway, we were $33 million. We inherited $33 million in bond debt, and the manager and this council has managed it, I think, very, very well. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, one other comment, just to get into the minutes. I mentioned the council at the last meeting, the bond counsel that we've used in the past, Ron Brown. He'll be our bond counsel again. And he needed to know, or I needed to tell him, is to give him the spreadsheet from This goes back to the 2007 bond issue because we refunded the 2007 bond issue in 2015 and then part of it in 2017. So all of the items, the assets that we bought, which totaled up to about 7.4 million, there had to be a significant amount of life still left in the assets. And a lot of those assets were 5 fire vehicles that we purchased from 2007 through 2011, I believe it was. That right there was the lion's share, along with public works vehicles that gave us the sustained life that are still within those assets. Now, I put on your website an email that I received from Attorney Brown today, signifying that we can move ahead with this restructuring.
Well, I would like to say, Tim, thank you for when I asked you to look into something like this, and you thought that we might not be able to do it, that you and Josie followed through and found out that it was actually a very good idea and recommendation. And I appreciate the time that you both put in on it because we are going to save a lot of money. And that's what I was hoping to find out.
Well, I'd caution on the word save. All we're going to do.
Well, we know, Tim. I understand.
Smoothing it out.
It'll free up some money.
Right, thank you.
Hey, Tim,
Mr. Williams.
You had proposed taking like $5 million out of the rainy day fund.
I'm coming up with that right now, Bob.
How has that changed?
Can we get this?
Oh, yeah, you know what, Mr. Little, before you answer that, we have a motion and a second to move forward with
the manager's recommendation here. So I'd like to just get a roll call on that, just to have
in the minutes.
Mr. Wilson,
Tom, you're muted.
He's muted.
He's saying aye.
Mr. Williams,
Aye.
Mr. Arsenko,
Aye.
Mr. Wolfram,
Aye.
Mr. Harvey,
Aye.
Mr. Poach,
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you. Mr. Little.
Okay, we have some items on the budget that, and I think we can sum it up with what the illustration I have here on the screen. Council is worried, and rightfully so, that we're using close to $6 million of our fund balance, which we ended with a fund balance at the end of 2019 of $17 million. Now, we won't end with that this year, but this is the usage of the 21 fund balance. As I mentioned to you at the amendment to the resolution for the non-uniform pension, this is the amount of money we're going to be saving. Now, one option that you could do in order to get this down is we right now, as we customarily have done, is we've taken $1 million out of the OPEB fund, but we've also in 2018, but not in 2019, we transferred $1 million back, or at least we tried to. And for the benefit of the public, the OPEB fund is other post-employment benefits. That's for the retirees' health care that we usually contribute. Now, next year, it's budgeted about $1.6 million. We can take another $1 million out of there, and the reason we can do this is because from a pure accounting perspective, from a financial perspective, there's $4.2 million sitting on the accounts receivable balance sheet of the general fund, and there would be nothing wrong with taking that $1 million out. However, my recommendation to council is we budget this, but we don't transfer it right away. We see where we are April 15th when the business tax money comes in. And again, as we've talked about before, other personnel items in the executive session, we see if we have to make a move then with transferring that money after April 15th. Bond restructure, as I just mentioned, this is the amount of money that on the cash flow that we can reduce the debt service. Park and Recreation Fund, that's included in there, but that's up to council if they want to do anything. This is the police cars because we're only going to be purchasing 2 police cars. Now, if you don't use any of the Park and Recreation Fund, this net impact on here would come up to $2.3 million. This is a total revenue source. If you don't use this, this would be $3.5 million and some change, and this would shift to 2.3. We can go from a 5.9 million to a 2.3 not using this, where if you want to use part, some, all, whatever the case might be, then you can see we can significantly reduce using the fund balance by doing this. But I would budget this, right here. Obviously, you just approved on the bond restructuring. This is already going to be in the budget you'll receive on December the 22nd. And the police cars come out of the capital, so that's less money that will be coming out of the capital fund of $200,000. And also to note on there, which isn't on here, is the $30,000 we'll be saving in not doing a hard copy of the Park and Recreation flyer. We're just going to do that online. Any questions?
Do we need a motion on any of this stuff?
No, you just tell me to move forward with what this is, and you tell me if you want to do everything here, Sans, because I know this is an important topic here, the Park and Recreation Fund. Do you want that included in there, taken out of there? Because I figured that'd be a discussion topic right there. But I told Josie to include it in there.
I'd say take $100,000 from the police cars and just purchase 2 this year.
Well, that's already here, right here, 200,000.
That's 200.
Right.
Take it down to 100,000 for 2 police cars.
Well, yeah, that's true. We could do, I'm sorry, you're correct on that, Bob. That's right, because it's $50,000 a piece. You're saying, well, this right here would be, I'm taking, see, this is the savings right here. In fact, what you're talking about would bump this up $100,000 because Josie put in the full complement of the police cars of $200,000. That should only be $100,000 there.
Okay, all right.
So it was discussed
And even through
whenever Chief Cole was here,
to hold off
on
on
2 cars.
Is
Is that correct, Mr. Little?
That is correct.
And
So what
you
you're
said
saying is
that figure is
is incorrect what's on the screen right now.
It should be 100,000.
Exactly, that should be 100,000.
Tim, I think you should go through with this plan as you stated and wait till April and see how those funds come in and then report back to us, I guess.
Okay, what about the Park and Recreation Fund?
Now, where did that $1 million come from?
This right here, selling of the pool, swimming pool.
Okay, I thought it was 953,000.
Well, we also sold some assets too.
Oh, okay,
It's just a touch over
okay.
$1 million.
Didn't we designate that for just strictly Parks and Rec though?
Yes, we did.
Yes, okay, thank you.
And I would encourage council to leave that in the Parks and Recreation Fund. We certainly had a lot of discussion over the selling of the Bel Air pool. And I think it was, what council committed to the public was to at least keep that money for further enhancements of the Parks and Recreation Department, particularly the parks. They were losing an asset, an amenity. They were losing the pool. When I say they, the residents, and the $1 million
to stay
in the parks to enhance them, we all felt was fair. And I don't believe that we are in a dire state when that money needs to be spent. Past councils before we were all involved, there was money from the selling of the sanitary sewer to the municipal authority. So there was a fund that included building a indoor-outdoor pool and a rec center at the community park. And instead of going down that plan over the years, former councils would spend that money down and then it was no longer there. So I would caution council on going down that same road and learn from mistakes and preserve that fund for parks.
Well, Mayor, the only thing I'll comment on that was I agree with everything you said, except that money for that pool was never funded. I talked to several council people. It was a plan, but it was never funded. Secondly, the $1 million that we have here from the sale of the pool, you are correct. It was set aside for Park and Recreation right up until a pandemic that caused us some real financial trouble. So though I agree with you, it's still liquid. I mean,
Right, but it was, yeah, to your point though, no, you are correct. It was not, the pool was not funded. When I say the pool that was proposed and planned for at the community park, no, it definitely was not funded. And that was one of the issues we ran into, or we wouldn't have had with the Bel Air pool if that plan would have moved forward. I know it's not exactly apples to apples, but there was definitely money set aside for the community park that former councils spent for whatever reason, and maybe they were making decisions on the best information they had at the time. But at this point, I think we should preserve that fund as all of council voted on.
I think with Ron's issue is that if we maintain the $1 million in that fund and as we go forward in 2021 and we need additional funding, we can look into that possibility of using some funds out of that.
I agree with that. I
caution council
on making that change right now,
or at least
when we approve the budget on December 22nd.
No,
Absolutely, things can change at any time, and I think a lot of things are going to come forward as we move into the year next year. But I would just caution council on making this, striking that fund
in 2 weeks.
well, Mr. Wilson's exactly correct. I think Tim put it on there as a possibility, and I'm just saying that it's still a possibility under the current financial conditions.
Right.
So I guess, Tim, maybe for some clarity, if we can satisfy everybody, is that it's not included in the budget, but everyone recognizes that that money is there, and if things are dire in the municipality, we can reassess it.
It helps us not to raise taxes too, Mayor.
Well, yeah, we're not proposing to raise taxes.
No, that's correct. I agree with that. I mean, again, I use the April 15th date as to what we bring in and where we are if that money is sitting there, so council understands that money is sitting there.
Yes, and then once again, so yeah, management, department heads, and this council have done a great job over the years of building up our fund balance, or what we refer to as our rainy day fund, our savings account. And certainly this is the year that we're going to need that. So fortunately, we do have that money to offset the changes here. Mr. Little, moving on.
Okay, that's it as far as the budget. We will have those changes. The finance department will make those changes, and we'll have hard copy budget books at the council for the adoption of the budget on December the 22nd. The next thing I just, as I normally do each month since the pandemic has started, I go through our histogram here, and the building permits. Obviously, they're holding good here because they were doing really bad in March and April, as everybody knows. Regional asset tax, that right there is better right there than it has been in previous years. That goes back to what I was talking about in executive session with other things. Transfer tax, houses have been selling, that's up. This is the one that's a real mystery to me, why our wage tax. It's right here, and it's right here, and it's actually not doing as bad, not doing as good as last year. But the only answer that I could give to that is a lot of the employees in the municipality of Monroeville, where the percentage is not as high as people would think that probably work in the service industry that has been hard hit by the pandemic. That's the only explanation that I could give to that. And local services tax and your business privilege tax is still done, not as good as it was last year, but again, it's almost like as if it was in 2017. Mercantile tax and the current real estate tax, that pretty much, stays steady. So those are our revenues that have come in this year that I've gone over with council beginning in the month of May. The other thing underneath my agenda has nothing.
Mr. Little.
Sure.
One moment, I'm sorry. Are you done with discussing the budget?
Yes.
So if I could get a motion to table the first 5 ordinances pertaining to the
budget.
Motion to approve.
Motion to table.
We have a motion to table all 5 ordinances pertaining to the budget. So then we can discuss it and possibly approve it on December 22nd. There's a motion to table it,
Second.
second to table it. Roll call, please. You're only voting to table.
Mrs. Gatos,
Aye.
Mr. Poach,
Aye.
Mr. Harvey, Mr. Wolfram,
Aye.
Mr. Ursenko,
Aye.
Mr. Williams,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Thank you.
The ayes have it. Mr. Little, go on.
Okay, the other couple items I have underneath my agenda here, Duquesne Light has approached the engineering department a couple months ago, and they need to replace a pole out on Saunders Station Road on a right-of-way that goes back next to Jamie Drive, which is right here, and they have to replace this pole right here, and they have to put a new one in right here, and this is a fence of a resident there that is actually encroaching on our right-of-way. Heritage Park is over here. Also, what I could do is
Bring that map back.
well, I'm bringing up a Google Earth, unless it's here it goes. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, this is the fence I was telling you about. This is the right of way going back. This is the way far telephone pole that was on. I can't bring up both of those. I'm not as deft in bringing up two images on Zoom yet. But the one telephone pole was right here that they're going to replace, and they're going to put a new one right here. And the reason for that is these lines are sagging. You can't see them. The lines are sagging right here, and they need permission to do that because this is our right of way right here on our property.
Bob, the map is in your packet.
Yes. Now answer me this. They encroaching on our right of way. If they take care of that for 26 years, is it their property?
Mr. Ratcher, if you could weigh in on that, please.
That's called the right of adverse possession, and public property can never be adversely possessed. So that is true when it's a matter of private property, but when it's public property, a private owner can never obtain permanent rights in that property.
Thank you.
Mr. Little, the map you have in front of you, is it only
taking care of that fence down?
telephone poles that are in front of us, or is it the one further down the line as well?
It's this one right here. There's one existing one there right now that I'm pointing to. That one they're going to replace. This is a new one that they're going to have to be putting in because of the sagging lines. And so the neighbors out there would have to, I don't know if the engineering department has notified them yet, but their fence is encroaching and it's going to be put right behind their fence.
Yeah. Well, it's an additional light pole, right?
Correct. This will be an additional, and this is a replacement.
Right.
Yeah, those lines are very low at that point. I mean, I drive by that area daily, and those lines are definitely low. So this is definitely an improvement to that little area there.
Are we gonna vote on it, or?
Yeah, I think we should have a vote on it to move
I
ahead.
have motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second to approve. Any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Mr. Williams,
Aye.
Mr. Ursenko,
Aye.
Mr. Wolfram,
Aye.
Mr. Harvey,
Ron,
Ron.
you-
Mr.
Sorry,
Harvey,
unmuted. Aye.
Mr. Poach,
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Very good. Mr. Little, anything else?
Okay, the last couple items, as anybody that has tried to call the municipal building about over the last week has noticed on occasions we've had problems with our phone system. We apologize for that. You can contact us through email. We're in the process of getting this done as quickly as possible to get the phone system up and running. We had a tech out here today from the existing phone company that we do have that takes care of this. But bear with us. We're moving as fast as we can to get the phone system up and running where it should be. But if you need to email anybody, our police dispatch, they are open. The phone lines there for emergency, they are old landline phones. that we kept when everything was restructured back in 2011. So you can call the dispatch, and if there's an emergency, there's no problem with that. This is just the main line, 856-1000, 412-856-1000. We're having a problem with that because that goes out to all the other phones in the building. It's a main line. So
Well, the number they want to call for an emergency is 856-1111 or 911.
correct. And those
Correct.
lines are
There's no
fine.
interruption of service there.
Yeah, those lines are fine. The last thing is Christmas and New Year's week, refuse and recycling are a day late. And I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Mr. Ratcher, do you have anything this evening?
Nothing, Mayor. Thank you.
Mr. Hugus,
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
good night. And
We're going to move over to our reports.
reports. Our council members, Mr. Wilson, we'll start with you.
You're muted.
You're currently muted, Mr. Wilson. So if you could unmute and then start with your report.
How's that? Better. Okay. First of all, I'd like to send my best wishes to Jeff Hurt's wife. She's back in the hospital with COVID, and also my condolences to Jeffrey. His father passed away last week. This pandemic has accelerated. I've lost a really good friend. His name is, we call him Woody Woodward. Woody used to ride with me in the parades. He's a Vietnam vet. And he had 2 Purple Hearts, and he was wounded in Vietnam twice. The next issue is just everybody wash your hands, wear a mask, and social distance, please. Because this isn't going to go away. It's just a matter of if we follow the guidelines, it will go away faster. Thank you, Mayor.
Nick?
Mr. Williams.
Yeah, Chief Cole and I went to the Boy Scout troop down in Wilmerdine. They had 4 scouts become Eagle Scouts, and it was a good night. And I went on behalf of the municipality and was happy to do that. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Wear your mask. That's very important in these days until we get these inoculations coming in. And that is my report.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Mr. Arcinko.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. First off, I just want to thank everybody that sent me all the well wishes. As Mr. Wilson and Mr. Williams said, this COVID-19 is nothing to play around with. I'm still recovering from it. But again, thank you for all the kudos and the prayers and all that stuff. And I sincerely mean that. I agree with both of them. Please wash your hands, wear a mask. That's so important. At any rate, thank you again. But since it's winter, I'd like to remind everybody, please try to park in your driveway so Public Works can, clean your roads a lot better. Please consider that. Just want to say Happy Hanukkah to all our Jewish friends. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and let's just have a safe holiday, everybody, coming up. And again, thank you for all the nice things that all the well wishes. And that's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arcinko. Mr. Wolfram.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to wish you, first of all, Greg, I hope you got my message. I wish you a speedy recovery. When you first went in the hospital, you never replied. So I wasn't sure. So I guess you got it. Secondly, I agree with everybody who's saying the same thing that I have written down for my notes. Stay safe out there, do what we got to do to get through this. I'm sure some of the numbers are going to go up with all the meetings and, things people aren't just going to do to stay safe. Again, wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. And that's it, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Wolfram. Mr. Hart.
I've been a longtime friend of Mr. Herbst and worked with him for a very long time. And I want to express my condolences for the loss of his father. It was very difficult not to be able to see him in person, and during this pandemic has caused a twist in our lives. His wife also hospitalized, so I wish her the best. Chief Cole has come down with the pandemic, COVID-19, and he's been recovering at home. So Doug, hope you get better soon and get over this thing. There's not much other to say than with all that's going on in the world, I want to wish everybody a healthy and happy holiday season. Please be careful and protect yourselves as well as your loved ones.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Mr. Poach.
I do. Mr. Arsenko, if he looks up for just a second. These are the letters from the nursing staff, happy that you had left after a period of time.
You're bad. You're bad, Eric.
No, correct. I'm glad we still have you to tease. That's good. We have some
That was
concerns
good.
about that, to do that too. So, but they are still quite thrilled about that. So to Ron's point, to add on just, anonymously as well. I mean, the good news is Chief Cole just texted me and said, thank you. He's doing fine. And anxious to get back to work too. So he just sent that to me just a moment ago to do that. There's a number of my colleagues and our colleagues in the fire department EMS service here in Monroeville. A couple of them are hospitalized, have been affected by that as well. We've been concerned and checking on them as well. So it's even younger people in this case that are still affected from it. So you guys are absolutely correct. We try to adopt a new simple, shorter saying that everybody can remember is wash and wear. It covers it right then and there. That isn't a problem in terms of the vaccine and moving forward and the problems that we're having with COVID-19. There is some light at the end of the tunnel. It'll be some time. There's no question about it as it moves forward, as we learn more about things as the Operation Warp Speed kicks into gear here in the next few days, actually, to do that. Holiday wishes, no question. Happy Hanukkah here next week, I believe. Yes, the end of next week, and the Christmas and New Year's season to see folks as well too. So hang in there, folks. We'll talk to you next month. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Poach and Mrs. Gator.
First, I would like to send out my condolences to the Kaliri family. Paul served on the council. He's on the Water Authority Board. He lost his father. And in September, his wife lost her mother. So they are having a very rough time of it. And I send my condolences to all of them. And especially during this time of the year, that it's a hard thing. And they have 3 children that are dealing with this as well. Of course, condolences to the Herbst family. I'd reached out to Jeff when I heard the news. But of course, we all stand and united in the condolences to him. And best wishes to all of our paramedics and our EMTs and that are out there in the front line, our firefighters that are dealing with this directly. I say thank you. And, you're always in our prayers and our thoughts to be safe and stay healthy. I want to thank again all the departments that worked on the budget. There was, we tried to give as much input as we possibly could for savings ways, and they do a heck of a job. So thank you to all of them. And lastly, everyone, please have a safe and happy holiday season and use your sanitizer. Thank you.
And I'll finish up echoing a lot of what my colleagues have set up here. Condolences to the Kaliri family, to the Herbst family. And as far as all of our first responders, our healthcare workers, all our essential workers. And I'll even expand that even to all of our employees in Monroeville that are working, all the stores and the restaurants that are open and that have been open. I want to thank all of our municipal employees for, working under these extreme conditions and these challenges and trying to provide services to the best of their ability during this pandemic. So a big thank you for everyone that's working for the municipality. And everyone's wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But council, we do have a budget meeting December 22nd. So hopefully people come to that to vote on the budget, but that will be happening then. But we do have some fun things coming up here. This Sunday, the Monroeville 33rd Annual Holiday Light Contest. It's this Sunday, December 13th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. All you need to do to participate is to turn on your holiday lights between 6 and 9 p.m. All Monroeville residents are invited to take part. A ward winner will be selected from each of the 7 wards, and then a grand prize winner will be selected from the ward winners on Monday, December 14th. So you have a few days to get your lights up outside and definitely have them on this Sunday, the 13th, from 6 to 9 p.m. And if you're the ward winner, you'll be notified that evening. And to continue on with light in the community, which is something that I think everyone welcomes at the end of this year, is the Chabad Jewish Centers of Monroeville hosting their 4th annual Light Up the Night event. It's this Sunday as well, and it is at the Monroeville Community Park West. It's a drive-in fashion event, menorah lighting. This has been held in the past at the Miracle Mile, but it's going to be held at the community park in a drive-in fashion. Participants will stay in their cars. They'll drive in, volunteers will be directing them to where they need to go. It's always a nice event. Yes, we have to do it differently this year, the Chabad Center has to do it differently this year. This is not a municipal event, but they still, Rabbi Shapiro, it was very enthusiastic and adamant about still holding this event because of how this year has gone for everyone. And he wanted to just try to have a nice event and to have light in our community. So that starts, the park opens at 4:30 and the event starts at 5 p.m. in Monroeville Community Park West. And once again, just a final reminder that the budget, next budget meeting is Tuesday, December 22nd at 7 p.m. And we'll be holding that via Zoom. With that, I'll seek a motion to adjourn.
Get a motion for a second.
Second.
On favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Good night.